How did this stay alive? I had to find out.
Some Japanese vending machines give out free drinks during earthquakes and blackouts, and American vending machines have absolutely nothing like this. That single design difference exposes something much bigger about how Japan builds its everyday infrastructure, and that is exactly what this video unpacks. Here is the payoff right now. Certain vending machines across Japan are pre-programmed to unlock their entire inventory and dispense drinks at no charge the moment a major disaster is declared. No staff. No override code. No emergency crew needed. The machine reads the situation and acts on its own. If that sounds like a minor convenience feature, you are already misreading it the same way most Americans do. Let me show you why. Segment 1. What these machines actually do. A small but growing number of vending machines in Japan, deployed by municipalities, corporations, and transit operators, carry what manufacturers like Fuji Electric and Sandon describe as a disaster response mode. When a designated authority triggers an emergency signal, or in some configurations when the machine detects a sustained power grid disruption, the machine switches into free vend mode. Every button becomes active. Every drink dispenses without payment. The machines are typically stocked with water, sports drinks, and canned beverages, exactly what people need in the first hours after a major earthquake. In Eikyo City in Hyogo Prefecture, machines were specifically installed at community welfare centers for this purpose, with hygiene products stored in adjacent lockers as part of this same emergency kit. This is not a vending machine with a bonus feature bolted on. It is a piece of planned public infrastructure that happens to look like a vending machine the rest of the time. In the United States, a vending machine during a power outage does one thing: it goes dark. The drinks are still inside. The machine is simply offline. There is no disaster mode because the machine was never designed to serve any function beyond a commercial transaction. Segment 2. The misunderstanding most Americans bring to this. When Americans first hear about disaster mode vending machines, the instinct is usually to frame it as a generosity story. Japan is so kind. The companies are so thoughtful. That framing misses the actual structure. These machines are not acts of corporate charity in the moment. They are contractual infrastructure agreements made years in advance between machine operators, local governments, and sometimes national disaster preparedness agencies. The operator agrees ahead of time to absorb the cost of free vended inventory during a declared emergency. In return, the municipality may offer placement rights in high-foot traffic public locations, reduced licensing fees, or other arrangements. It is a pre-negotiated public-private system, not a spontaneous gesture of goodwill. This is the gap that most American coverage of Japanese vending machines skips entirely. The machines are not smarter because Japanese engineers are more creative. They carry this function because the broader system, local government, disaster planning, and private operators agreed to build it in from the start. Segment 3. Why Japan has so many vending machines to begin with. Japan has a remarkably high density of vending machines relative to its population. The country's vending machine industry has long cited the combination of low street crime, high pedestrian density, and a cultural comfort with automated retail as reasons the format thrives here in a way it does not in most American cities. That same low-crime environment is what makes outdoor, unattended machines viable in the first place. An American gas station convenience store is staffed partly because an unstaffed retail point would face significant theft risk in many locations. Japanese vending machines sit on sidewalks, in train station corridors, and in residential neighborhoods with minimal vandalism. That baseline trust in public infrastructure is the same foundation that makes a disaster mode machine worth investing in, because the machine will still be physically intact and stocked when the emergency arrives. Segment 4. What this actually tells Americans about Japan. The disaster mode vending machine is not an isolated quirk. It fits a pattern. Japan's convenience stores maintain emergency stockroom protocols. Certain public toilets are designated as disaster shelters. Train station infrastructure includes specific roles in evacuation routing. Everyday objects in Japan carry secondary emergency functions that are invisible until they are needed. Americans tend to see Japanese vending machines as a novelty, a fun travel photo, a story to tell back home. But the machine giving out free drinks during an earthquake is the same machine you bought a cold coffee from on a Tuesday afternoon. The emergency function was always there, preloaded, waiting. That design philosophy, build the emergency use case into the ordinary object, has no real American equivalent at the consumer infrastructure level. American emergency systems are largely centralized: FEMA, emergency broadcasts, official shelters. Japan's approach distributes the emergency function into the physical environment itself, including the vending machine on the corner. If this kind of hidden infrastructure logic interests you, every video on this channel finds one specific Japanese object or system and shows Americans exactly what they are misreading about it, which is a much more useful lens than a travel highlight reel. Subscribe if that is the kind of comparison you want to keep getting. Now here is the question worth sitting with. If Japanese convenience stores also carry hidden disaster stockroom protocols, what does that mean for how Americans should understand what a convenience store is actually for?